Hi, how is everybody this evening? Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Sher. I'm an intuitive, and this is our members class. This week, we're going to be talking about how do you recognize if you're having a spiritual awakening? Because a lot of times you're not expecting to have a spiritual awakening. I certainly wasn't. I don't think most people are when it comes across in their lives. So welcome. If you're new here, I'm happy to have you. Okay, so first of all, what is a spiritual awakening? Let's talk about that first. Spiritual awakening is a process of remembering and reconnecting with like your true essence, who you truly are. um it's like your awareness beyond ego, beyond mind, all that. It's like a shift of consciousness. Okay. Where you live, where you're guided by your heart, your truth, your unity. Your illusions start to fade and your inner wisdom awakens. Excuse the hair, I know it's kind of bad. And life feels so when that happens, life is more about flow and less about control. It's like where you truly start to thirst. Hi, Natalie, for this thirst of like wanting to know spiritual things, enlightenment things, how to meditate, how do I ground myself. I am well, Natalie. Nice to see you here. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about spiritual awakening and how to recognize it, some of the signs and symptoms that you may experience in a spiritual awakening. That way, you don't think you're losing your mind. And so I think it'll be kind of an interesting. Most of the time, a spiritual awakening begins with like some kind of life changing event, um, illness, heartbreak, burnout. It does list a moment of profound beauty or profound silence. It's like it's kind of like I feel like it's kind of something disrupts your life, but usually in a spiritual awakening, usually in a very big way. You're like, whoa, what happened? Did something just happen in my life? And yes, it has. But something to think about. There are different triggers of spiritual awakening, and there's physical signs, there's common triggers. Let me look at my notes here. There's emotional signs of spiritual awakening. There's energetic signs. Hi, Asa. And there's also how do you navigate it? So that's our subject tonight is on spiritual awakening. Excuse my hair. It's been a very busy day. It's great to see you guys here. Let me light a candle, ring a bell, and we'll go to class here. Also, this is a very informal class with the members. If you have a question, jump in and ask, because that's why we're here to learn, right? I hope everybody is having a beautiful day. I am. It's a little chilly here. Why don't my candles on the light? Okay. I had to get a bigger candle. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Sher. I'm an intuitive. Tonight's class will be on spiritual awakening, signs, symptoms, how to manage it, how to integrate it into your daily living. Because when your life takes a shift or a change, it can be kind of, I'd say, almost overwhelming. So, if you have questions, feel free to hop in and ask. So we talked about what spiritual awakening is. It's really about, to me, I feel like it's like a point of returning back to self, figuring out who you are again. Because, in life, we lose ourselves sometimes. The children, the dog, I don't know, the job, the bills, all that stuff, Calgon, take me away. And we give and we give. And, please like the video if you get a chance. Hi, darling Lisa. You became a member. Cool. Anyway, so we give and we give. And we forget that we need to replenish our tanks too. So that's really important to remember. Now, some of the major triggers of spiritual awakening or common triggers are a major life change, a death in the family. Hi guys. An isolation, some kind of powerful, I don't know, epiphany, some kind of beautiful love experience, a near death experience, some kind of life threatening event. These are all things that can trigger spiritual awakenings, okay? And even like something as simple as, and I remember saying this, is this all there is? Is this it? Is this, you just keep going through the motions? No, it is not all it is. Okay. So we have to remember when you're having these experiences to like kind of step back and look. Hi, Venus. Step back and look at the emotions you're going through, how your body is reacting to it. You know, all the good stuff, right? um, and then you know that it's kind of like it's that voice going, "Isn't there more? There's more to life than this, right?" It's pretty much that voice where you really start to question, okay, why am I here? Why do I exist? What's going on in the world? What am I supposed to do? What is my purpose in life? Is this all there is, or do I have a gift that I could share with somebody, with the world? Could I make the world a better place? Do I need to enjoy the journey? All that stuff. Okay, so members, happy to have all of you guys here. I said it for members, but if it didn't show as members, it's okay. This is really just a class. You're welcome. We're certainly not going to kick you out. Cher is getting semi better at the technical. Oh, thank you. Is she doing better? I really sent her energy. By the way, this is a very casual learning environment. This is meant to be casual. You know, ask questions. I mean, don't ask 10 million at one time, but ask questions, and we'll. I really like that. I'm so glad. I was really hoping. Uh, Good. I would like to continue to pray for her, especially we have our Sunday afternoon prayer group. So, okay. So, now let's talk about some of the physical signs of spiritual awakening. Excuse me. And sometimes, Venus, when I pray, um, okay, or even when I read, let's say, Natalie, you can, I'm going to use you as a guinea pig, okay? Um, so, Natalie, when I was reading for you the other day, and it was just channeling, the things that I said to you, I could see you in a room doing those things. Now, it may not have been that day or that moment, but it was just, it was your energy. I don't, and it was like I could see your energy or what your energy needed. And the new thing I would say that's really different is when I pray for people, it's like there's a feeling that comes with it. Like it's not, you will pass them as a quit stressing. Um, I know I could see you. I mean, I could literally see you. It was so strange for me too. Remember, I'm on this journey along with you guys. Okay, I've hidden my gifts my whole life. I and I was really shocked because I guess that would be like, is that like what kind of viewing? Is that remote viewing or something? There's I have so many gifts and I'm so thankful for them. But it's a little overwhelming at times, and they just kind of pop out. I did. I did. I remember that because I was actually trying to send your mother white light of healing too, um, during that prayer. Like, they say intention is everything, and it is. A lot of times, this is such a great, fun class. Let's say some of the ways I learned about my gifts. I know my hair is so bad tonight. I apologize. Um, is by accident. A lot of times it was just accident. I did not realize the power of my words. The little guy taking his life on the side of the submarine. I'll, all I said, excuse me. Do you know what I said to get that answer? I said, Lord, I wonder what happened. And as soon as I said, Lord, I wonder what happened, then I saw that this like little movie play out in my head. Now, every time I ask for a message or an answer about something, do I get them in the same ways every time? Oh, no, not at all. Everything varies and everything stays the same. It's like, whoa. Um, I might get a vision one time. I might get a thought. I might see something. I might hear a song. And where I'm going with this is as you guys are on your spiritual awakening journey, everybody's gonna get different messages, like as it might be baking bread in the kitchen and think, oh, I need to call that person, things like that. And when you get those messages, pay attention. These messages are like real things, real happenings, real life things. And a lot of times I have found when you don't pay attention, number one, it's not going to go away. It's going to keep coming back up and coming back up. Recently, I had a thought about my daughter and it would not leave me alone. And I finally said, okay, send her a text. I do not understand the magnitude of the tapped inness. It's just it is God in action. It's the only thing it can be, and it blows me away too. I'm not gonna lie to you because I could see you sitting there, and it was so it felt very real. A lot of my visions feel very real. And there's things I did not know I was aware of, like the channeling, um, the the channeling for sure is like totally grown. And I did a reading today for a lady, and I actually heard before I started the reading, it was like, oh, it was like you're going to be channeling most of this, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was a beautiful read. It was an easy read. It was fun. I like my job. I like what I do. And I even on my bigger reads, I try to always connect with Archangel Michael, but on the smaller ones, it's not a guarantee. And it's not to do with the money. It was just like today, it was a time thing, but there was a block of like 10 minutes where we had to wait to reconnect for the Zoom meeting. And in those 10 minutes, it was like, okay, well, we're not stopping now. And I channeled like a couple pages of messages for this person. So that was really quite interesting. A lot of times in the spiritual awakening process, number one, you don't know what all your gifts are. Number two, you have to like really look at yourself, do a close moral inventory. Can I do this? Is this right? If you're having a hard time with it, do you pray? Do you ask for help? Like when I went to court with my ex, I prayed. I said, Lord, let me be a good person, because I did not want to be a good person that day at all. But God got me through it. God will give you strength when nothing else will. So, those are just the common triggers of spiritual awakening. Now, let's get a little more detail. Um, Welcome, members. Thank you for supporting this channel. Um, we will be talking about various parts or aspects of the spiritual awakening journey now and throughout this process. We're not going to have do I have like a I have a syllabus, but we're not going to be that formal here. Okay. So we're just going to take each subject as it comes. If you have questions, we're going to answer the questions to the best of our ability. And if we don't have the answer, I'll go find the answer for you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is physical signs of spiritual awakening. Now, what are the physical signs, right? Because, um, and personally, I found a feather today too outside. It was just like, good job, Sher. And I picked it up and put it in my backpack. But okay, so let's go back to the physical signs. Fatigue, sleep changes. Feel free to confirm any of these. Giant burst of energy. I can like, man, I get this little spiritual burst of energy, and I can run with it. It's when you start seeing all the shorts. It shares like at home, like the rabbit, just going away at it. But it's because I have that burst of energy. It's like spirit, source, God, the omnipotent gives you what you need to get you through in your life, no matter what the situation is. But you have to believe that that exists, that He will get you through. And also, if you pray, excuse me, you have to ask that question. Whatever it is you need to know. I mean, don't say, "Hey, what's the horse race going to play today?" That's kind of, that would be abuse. So let's not do that. Okay, so back to the physical signs. Sorry, I know I'm one of those teachers that's everywhere. Fatigue, sleep changes, burst of energy. I personally like go all night sometimes without sleeping. I don't know about any of you. It's like my brain won't turn off, and I will be laying in my room and I'll be getting messages, some of them for you guys. And I'll be like, oh, I got to remember to tell him that, and so we're going to work on that together, Natalie, because I really like my sleep. And when my sleep is disturbed, everything else is disturbed. Okay, so also you get tingling or vibrations through your body. Or here's an example. For me, I always feel a cold sensation across the back of my shoulders, especially when it's a very deep message. Or a lot of readers, and you've seen it before, their nose itches. And it's just, from what I can gather, because in the beginning when I was watching other readers, I was like, why is everybody always messing with their nose, right? Or their face? But what it is it's like a confirmation, and some readers say there's confirmation burps. I don't know about that. I'm sure there is, our energy and everything, but everything is different for every individual person. It doesn't have to be the same for Natalie as it is for Venus. Venus might dream all night long. How's the man factor going, Venus? Dream all night long, and I don't know. I sometimes I'm not good at the jokes. Okay. Or maybe all the time and you guys just humor me, but we'll just leave that there. Okay. Also, you may have sensitivity to light, sound, or energy. Recently, okay, I wondered, I thought you were the dreamer. Seriously, nothing but a dream all night long. When I talked about you, I heard dream, 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 dreamweaver. That's funny. Uh, yes, I do hear, and all these things are like, they're, as we're speaking, there's a sound in the background. It's almost always here for me, especially if I'm reading or if I slow down and I need to get information. So there's always that. And recently, when I started reading people, this is new for me. I actually need to talk to somebody that's higher up than me on this one. But I've taken on their body energy. And I didn't know I could do that, first of all. Second of all, I'm not sure how I like it because both body energies that I took on were very tense energies. They were very tense. And yes, uh, I think we all do. It's crazy. If you're intuitive, I think that is one of the signs, that high pitched sound. And you can tune it out or something. Also, I think that fire, and I never really thought about it. I think it comes in this here. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, see, that's kind of, and that's why we have these classes and stuff. It's not just a learning thing, it's a support thing. Like, yeah, oh, you have that. Do you know how good it feels to know that you're not the only person that's walking around with their ears ringing and high pitched noises, or thinking that every sign they see in a thrift store is a message from God? You know, it's nice to know there are others in the universe. And the thing I've noticed about this gift is the more you do it, the more comfortable you are with it, the more it grows. It like opens up. It becomes the sky's the limit. See, I get to have fun in here. Out there, I read cards, and it's necessary. It's part of the gift, or the purpose, or the journey, whatever you want to call it. But in here, I get to talk about the things that light you up. Also, I'm going to throw something in here. One of the physical signs, I think, is that you have a lot of memories that you haven't thought about in forever. They just pop up. They are just there. And it's amazing because it's cool in one way. But the first thing I think you really think is, am I dying? Why is all this popping up? Is my life flashing before my eyes? No, it's not. I think what it does is it goes back. It's like going back and watching a film, okay, of incidences and things that happened in your life that made you who you were, who you are today. It's like a reminder. Hey, do you remember this? And it's also kind of like a gift from the universe when this happens, because like today it was like, hey, do you remember when you and Ray were married and Jennifer was little? And I remember I took myself back there and I was like, oh, how cool. And so you do tend to have a lot of random memories. And also, if you sometimes you have visions, and I feel like sometimes it is hard to separate. I don't want to say reality, because reality, there's 3D and 5D, but sometimes they tend to intermingle. Let's say you're asleep on the recliner, which happens often, but yet you're having a vision of something that's a warning. But you still got your rest, but you still got your vision. Sometimes it's like things come in different levels. Oh, when you see the visions, I think, honestly, I guess you could say it's doing more shadow work, but to me, it's just God giving you gentle reminders. Okay, this is what happened. This is where you've been. This is how far you've been. This is how far you've come. I don't think you should ever, and I'm sure she meant well, but don't ever like think that you're behind the game or ahead of the game. You're just on the journey. I know, sounds very hippyish. Okay, so also, you find some of the changes that occur that are physical is like diet changes. I have started drinking more and more water. I stopped buying Coke for my house. That doesn't mean I don't get one when I get out at McDonald's. I'm sorry. If I get there McDonald's, I'm getting a Coke. But I don't have Coke in my house anymore. Nothing against Coke. Coke is great. But I was like, this is a bad habit. I want to change it. Okay. And then, things like that. And then food. I bought celery. I am not a celery eating one. I'm not, but I have been buying like fresh fruit and bananas. Me and the bananas, I swear. Um, and things like that, and really being more conscientious. But it's also important that you have balance. Now, I'm talking about all these things because you've heard that song, you can't have one without the other. Yes, so I was suppressing the feelings because I felt, oh, cool. Yeah, I think that if something pops up in your mind, um, that there's a reason for you to look at it. It doesn't mean that you have to, go back and live the horrors of it, or you could go back. If it's a great memory, go back and go, yeah, that was so fun. But we have visions and memories for a purpose. Sometimes it may be simple as, hey, don't go in back into that kind of situation. That wasn't good for you. And so it's good to pay attention to them, but I don't know. I live the simple life. I I don't want my life to be complicated. I don't want to have to diagnose all the things, and I am sure they are good. And I'm pretty sure, uh, speaking of spiritual awakening, when you go through that dark night of the soul, when you have that process, you really, um, a lot of that happens. A lot. And they're usually pretty subtle changes. You don't, until all of a sudden you look up one day and you're like, I got rid of Coke in my house, and I really didn't miss it. Or, I think about getting up and going outside. Or, I remember to thank God for what has happened to me today, how great my life is today. So these are just some things. Yes, I can read you the list, and I do use the list, but the bottom line is we're each on our own individual journey. Our journeys are beautiful, but they're tailored to us. Why wouldn't they be? It's the divine, right? Okay, a few more of the physical symptoms are heat waves or chills. I get chills on the back of my neck. Also, ache, pressure, or spontaneous body releases. That's interesting. I don't know about all that. I do pick up on other people's health energy, and I'm working on that because the past couple times I picked up on their energy, they were highly stressed, and it really made me highly stressed. And I was like, no, I don't like this highly stressed thing. But it was also important in the reading because it made me feel the magnitude of what they were feeling and be able to give them some advice. And I think that sometimes Source, Godfather, does let you have a stronger feeling about something. I have talked about situations to people that were horrific, abuse situations, small children, things like that. And I have delved into their feelings, and you're just there sometimes, and you feel all those emotions and stuff. Not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes it's necessary to help that person, because until you are actually walking in somebody's shoes or living somebody's life, you don't know. And today in our society, think about all the anger and the frustration, all the shootings, all the just hatred and bitterness. And that's why we have to promote this newer vibration. Can you control it? Which part of it? Oh, the pain part. I think I can. Because how what was it? What? Let me bear with me. Let me see how I felt about it. Um, the one yesterday when I did the reading yesterday or the day before, uh, I think you can control everything. The first thing I think that the biggest way you have control is through prayer. Prayer or your connection with the divine. Okay. Because if you're like me, you ask for peace and protection, light and love, and you ask for the right messages to come through. When I ask for that peace and protection, that's also physical protection. So it's important to, remember that when you ask for those things, expect for those things to be there. But now, the first time I felt all the stress and tension, it was hard to control. It was because it was really, it just hit me out of nowhere. And I was like, whoa. The second time, because I had felt it before, I knew what I was dealing with. And I was able to, I knew it was there, but I could go around it and discuss it, if that makes sense. It was like, okay, this person really has a problem with stress or whatever the problem may be. And how do I get this person some help? How do I help them alleviate this issue? Through source energy, of course, not through me, because I have no clue. Thank God I am connected, or I would not be having these conversations with you guys. Excuse me, one second, please. Okay, so so that's kind of interesting. Some of the emotional signs. Oh, this is running a little longer than I thought. I apologize, guys. Some of the emotional signs are like sudden mood swings, uh, heightened empathy or compassion. It may be difficult for you to be in a crowd of people. Or let's say you're being social for a few days and then you find that you need to decompress, that you really don't want to talk to anyone or anything. And then you spend some time away, back away, and then you're rejuvenated. So that's a very natural, normal thing, um, for an intuitive to do. I do. You see it. I go and go and go and go, and then all of a sudden I'll disappear for a short while. And it's just like, no, no, no more. You know, and you have to do that as an intuitive, even on your spiritual awakening journey. There has to be boundaries for how, because you get the zest for wanting to know everything and wanting to experience everything. But you also have to have balance and boundaries, because if you don't, you'll go crazy. Okay. Makes me think of that song, Let's Go Crazy by Prince. Okay. So let's do the emotional signs and then we'll stop it here for tonight. I'm trying to keep my classes kind of short because I know we all have busy lives, but I will continue this class, the rest of it here in the next couple nights, night or next night, whatever. The emotional signs are the mood swings, the heightened empathy or compassion, um, the desire for solitude or peace. And that really is huge, honestly. Also, I think this would be some of the dark shadow work, revisiting old wounds. Like, how did I let myself get there? Why did I feel that I needed to make myself so small, for another person to lift them up? Or what made me want to do that? What are my insecurities? Am I afraid nobody will love me? Yeah, I was afraid nobody would love me. Now I feel like very loved. Okay. So sometimes our thinking is skewed. But we revisit those wounds and we heal from them, or we learn from them, hopefully. Also, you one of the emotional signs is like, you don't really want to hang out by the water cooler and talk bad about people. You don't want to talk bad about people at all, really. You don't want to stir the pot. You don't want the chaos. You don't want the conflict. You don't want did you hear what she said? None of that. You want the peace that surpasses all understanding. You want the connection. You want the relationships. You want the balance. And you can have all of these things in the spiritual awakening journey. Um, Also, there's the last one is perfectly great place to end this one tonight is expanding love and gratitude. Guys, in the course of my day, I talk to God like He's my best friend, and I frequently, even if it's something little that He's given me a gift of, I'm like, "Thank you, Lord, thank you." Thank you for doing that for me. And the other thing I would say, I think that if God trusts you, he it's like He sends you the small test, right? And every time you pass a test, He trusts you a little bit more. It's like you have to show Him. Please don't beat me up on that one, but it's almost like He gives you this series of tests. It's not just showing Him, it's showing yourself where you are. I know I'm not the same woman I was last year by any stretch, which is probably a good thing. So, on that lovely note, the next time when we pick up, we will cover energetic signs and navigating confusion and sensitivity from these. Does anybody have any questions before I cut it off here tonight? And I apologize for not doing this sooner. Anyway, what day is it? It's only Tuesday. Yes. I'm excited because it's the beginning of the week still. And I don't know why, but I am excited. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I hope that you guys found this informative. If you have any questions, even after the classes, you can shoot me an email. Um, and I think as far as Tuesday, yes, I know. I have no concept of time anymore, I swear. I have no bedtime, I have no wake up time. It's just me and whatever I'm called to do. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me for this class. They are on the site, so if you miss a class or something, don't go back. Don't worry about it. You can go back and pick up on it. Have a great night. I love all of you. I will see you soon. Please go share peace and love. Bye, guys. And thank you.